Hi, good morning everyone. I'm making a video today. It's my first video ever. I've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel for a while now, and I never had the courage to even start one. But honestly, I've been thinking about it, and there's so many things in my life where I am very fortunate to have, and very fortunate to have a support system that is good and I really enjoy my family and everything, and in no shape or form this video is to make any one of them feel like they missed the mark or anything. But to be quite honest, I had weight issues my entire life, and I feel like a lot of people can probably, the obesity rates are increasing year by year and everywhere in the world. So I'm assuming that most people are going through similar things as I am. And it's not something comfortable to talk about, and it's not something comfortable to explain to others how you feel. And I think um, there is some part of shame on society that they put us to feel ashamed of how we are, and that we're not putting the efforts enough, or we are always missing something to achieve those goals. In the future, I have so many ideas for this channel. I've been sketching some logos and some like how to do things and some inspirations that I got online, which I will be very open here and show them to you. So in general, I feel like today was a day that made me feel like I felt many times in my life, and I've been trying to make it a change. And this is mainly where this inspiration for this video is coming from. And I've been changing my nutritional goals, and I've been researching the max I can where how to burn fat, how to do it sustainably, how to not restrict yourself, how to lose fat, maintain goals of muscles, and start up do some bodybuilding in the future, because it's a good way to burn a lot of fat with not a lot of cardio. And muscles in general, if you're building muscles, it's good for, like, it helps you burn more calories first of all, and it helps you create a more stable life. Like, if you can consume more calories, you can indulge here and there. Not that that's my goal, but it gives you a better, like, chances of succeeding. And in fact, a lot of times I'm told, because the way I look, like, from a lot of different people give me advice, which I appreciate and I really do. And I love that people are willing to step aside and give me advice, because a lot of times I feel uncomfortable of giving people advice. Like, I have really good friends, Carlos and Ingrid, if you're watching, you guys are amazing in my life, and you you're very important to me. And a lot of times, like, they motivate me to be like this keto friendly person and keto this and keto that, which is great. I mean, everyone has to lose weight the way they feel comfortable with, and that's great. I'm sorry I got emotional, but I got emotional not because of the food or the recommendation. It's just that there are special people in my life. I mean, when I change my diet, I feel uncomfortable and criticizing keto, because I know that's what works for my friends, and I don't want to put them in that spot where they think, oh, keto is horrible. You know, I think it's important for people to do their own experiment and find out what works and what doesn't. But I also think that there is a lot of misconceptions and researches. I mean, I'm not the expert in anything. I'm just a common person, just like you or whoever it's watching. Um, I just think there is no harm in doing research and listening to all sides of different researches. People, um, I feel like, yes, if I had sticked 100% to the diet some people might have told me to do it, I'm pretty sure that I could have lost a lot of weight. I'm not discrediting any form of things. I just think that I was probably losing weight, but not feeling as confident or emotionally well, or just feeling anxious. I mean, like I also grew up as a child here in US when I was between 1 and 4, so a lot of my first meals, I am assuming as memories and as people told me, were not probably the best foods to eat when you're a child, but like bacon and eggs and whatever. Like I've come from a family which is very carnivoral, kind of when you eat a lot of meat and steak and fish and things like that. Like in Brazil, picanhas are really well known, and people eat those very sociably, like in like barbecues with friends, and they have beer and things like that. Not that I'm a beer person, but I just think that a lot of times it takes something to bother you to make a change, and my my weight never been the first thing to make me change. Yes, I felt uncomfortable when I wore something a little revealing, or like something that didn't favor my shape too well. But I always been very confident. Like I always felt like I was pretty. Obviously, I have a lot of room to grow, and ways that I can make myself look more attractive. Not that that's like the most important thing in the world, but I think everyone has space for improvements. And I understand that a lot of advices that I've had over the year are constructive criticism or advices and things, but sometimes coming from certain people, like family, or like I have a few people in my family where I grew up being told that I should like not eat certain ice creams as a kid. I should only eat fruit ice creams, and this is something that's really stuck to me. Not that that's a horrible thing or a horrible punishment or anything, because fruit ice creams are delicious. Like especially like popsicles, I really enjoy like coconut ones and mango and pineapple. You can name it. I've always been a fan of them. But it's a little like sad when you have a group of kids together and you your family members tell you like, oh, you should eat this specific one, while everyone else is eating a chocolate one with like chocolate shells and everything, and just like a cone and beautiful like scoop of ice cream. But yeah, I also appreciate that because it made me more like I have a better taste. I am more comfortable with eating different things nowadays. And like my grandfather used to say when I went to travel or something, he would say like people who are very picky with food don't deserve to travel. Like not that in general, just in his family. Like if he's raising kids, they're like, oh, I don't eat lettuce. Oh, I don't eat beans. Oh, I don't eat this. He would be like, oh yeah, you better address that, otherwise you're not invited for the trip, because it is kind of difficult to have to accommodate like any attractions or places that you're gonna stay, or like when you're traveling you don't really pick where you're gonna eat sometimes, and you're just walking in the street, and if you go to a restaurant that there's nothing this kid will eat, it makes it a little difficult to be in that environment. And I completely understand where he came from, and I love it. Honestly, I feel like I would probably adopt similar principles to when I have kids or grandchildren. um but it also made me like overindulge in things and feel like this liberty to just try everything. And also like I to show my emotional like side, like I would always eat it all and be like, look, I can eat this, and look, I finished my plate, I can always be invited, right? Or like I don't know, I think everyone seeks a sentence in some ways. And like I always been a plate cleaner, so that's a struggle too. Like if when I moved to US recently, it was very difficult at first, like to finish a plate in a standard restaurant. And if I did, I felt guilty because I knew a plate here can have 2,000 calories or 3,000 calories, even 5,000 calories. Who knows where you're going? But after you lived here for 4 years, like finishing that plate is no longer hard, and your stomach got like bigger and bigger, and it's stretched, and it's much easier for you to consume all that food. And I mean, I hope this is helpful in any way to anyone. And I think that this channel really addresses some of the emotional and nutritional and health parts that I would like people to be able to talk to someone. I mean, there's plenty like of psychologists and therapists that you can look for and to talk about that, but not everyone can afford it. So I'm the kind of person as a university student, like lives in a different country alone, doesn't want to ask more help to their family members than they already got, because I get a lot of help. Um, and not everyone can get that support system as I do, and I'm very appreciative of my family. And it's interesting to me that content is available, and content online, it's not always like completely right. Everyone might be misinformed of a thing or another, but in general their intention is the most important thing when it comes to making a change, you know. I feel like there is some YouTubers which they deserve a lot of credit in any of the content that I make moving forward, because they have substantially changed my lifestyle in some ways. Not that they're the only people who have helped me. There's many people that constructed a basis and I added on information and everything. But there's some YouTubers like High Carb Hannah who really like show the bad side and the good side, and she showed a lot of videos of herself struggling with certain things, and she showed how positively she changed her life, and she lived in a very minimal lifestyle, which I love nowadays, to look at people who don't have like the most expensive apartments in the world, and they don't buy the most expensive products, you know, like, because there's a lot of people who are, oh, just go to Whole Foods and things like that, which, yes, it's a great place to shop. But a lot of their items are very costly. I could easily go there and spend like $200, $400 in an amount of food that will probably last me 5 days. While I can go to like a groceries, like a farmer's market or like Food Town, which is the place I go to, which is like a groceries that sell like a universal, a lot of foods from different countries. And they have really good tropical and exotic fruits, which I enjoy a lot. And I can go there and spend less than they do, and I have food for 15 days, you know? Like, there is specific things that you can do to really change it, and there is a lot to it that comes from looking online, seeing what people do to save money. Like, I never been the person that if I bought a fruit that I would freeze it if they're going too mature or something, and I would probably throw it away, which is very sad, or I would like make a juice really quickly or something like that. But it opened so much eyes when I watched the channel, which I hear in the video, but where this guy, like, he promotes like a lot of vitamin, like, not vitamins pills, but vitamins like a smoothie. And he would recommend like frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, all in the blender with some fresh fruit if you have, or a skim like almond milk or something. And and that is a good way of being more economic too, because if you're not able to eat it in a certain time frame that you bought it, you can always freeze it and eat it later. You don't need, that's another thing, a lot of people here buy frozen food. Nothing against frozen food. I just think that anything that comes in a package normally doesn't have a lot of, yes, it's ripe and everything, it's a good condition, but it's like you never know what they're putting in there, because there's a lot of chemicals and stuff that honestly, I'm not a chemist or a food industry person, so I really don't understand what certain chemicals mean. And I feel like more comfortable by buying the fruit ripe, normal, and just knowing for sure that that fruit max is gonna have is some pesticides and stuff, and like growing hormones. I don't know what they put in, like fertility products, but it's much less than having that plus something else, you know. Um, anyways, I don't know if this video, I got emotional today because of certain situation. It's not like the end of the world. It's just for me, I get very anxious when I try doing something my best way possible. And I'm from a personality that I binge eat a lot. So I used to like buy ice cream and cookies and stuff, and I would like indulge and bring it to the bed and hide it from my parents. I would hide it from everyone. And it's not like something I would do very often either. I would most of the time try to be the best I can be, and then sometimes really restrict myself, especially in front of my parents and my family members. I would be like, I would eat the best or try to eat my best in front of them. But after doing that through an entire week, I would be in a much bigger calorie deficit than I should been, I think. And and that would make me really, really have this huge hunger that needed suppressing. And also the cravings of sweets and things like that would also make me want to eat things somewhere else without them. um and that's not a healthy way of doing things. Like, I think you shouldn't be uncomfortable to eat things in front of people in no way, shape, or form. um Everyone eats, and I think people need to stop being so judgmental about what people eat. Like, I went to a bar recently with some friends, and it was like a opening of the bar, and they had like all this buffet presented. They had like empanadas with chicken, and I've been vegan for a while, so I obviously shouldn't be eating those things, but I do like the flavor of them. So the smell and things like that were making me crave them, which is a sad thing, and I try to avoid it altogether. So So I went to there, and they had pizzas, they had wings, and all those things. And I was very excited to be like, okay, I'm not gonna eat none of these things, and I'm gonna be a strong person. And I didn't. I was very proud of myself. I had control over the situation. I had eaten prior to it, so I wasn't hungry or anything. I wasn't like starving myself to death, or like, I had a very decent meal at home that was like around 400 calories. And that's actually lower than most people should be eating. Because I saw a few researches in the topic where people, to be satiated, to feel full, they should be eating something between 500 and 600 calories max per meal, like every 2 3 hours. I don't know. But they say you should eat more often and eat less. And not eat calorie dense food, but like be selective of which ingredients you're putting in your system. Like, there is like a whole like Dr. McDoodle, or I don't know. He is a good example. He have put a lot of researches in the topic of choosing better ingredients, and where obviously vegetables and like roots and stuff are a lot less calorie dense than olive oil or sugar or Oreos. Like you said, there was another researcher that said Oreos are very high in calories, but he, like, everyone indulges, especially vegans, like to indulge in Oreos, so he used Oreos as an example. But it was interesting to see that a lot of things that we eat on a daily basis have, like, they don't help you. Like, they might be nutritional, they might help you in some ways, or different people have different goals, but he was showing how like sometimes people eat a little salad with olive oil, and that salad, because of the olive oil, has achieved that goal of calories for the day, and you don't feel satiated overall because your body has different like they have there's like a perfect image on YouTube that I can try to find. But basically your body has like these sensors for food, and once you filled your stomach up, you feel full. But if you're eating very high dense calories, your body doesn't feel that full, and also it doesn't understand how much calories there is in there. So your body produces enough hormones to burn a certain amount of calories, and then you consumed a lot more calories and then you gain weight and blah blah blah. I don't know if that's completely accurate. I'm not a scientist. I'm just kind of paraphrasing what I've heard. Yeah, this was a good way of conversating a lot in a really compact amount of time. And I hope this first video can be helpful to anyone. And I hope to make a lot of new content on talking about a lot of those things. And I think this is a good introduction of who I am. And I mean, I'm gonna continue to do this. This is my first video ever. It's being filmed in my iPhone. And in the future, I'm really excited to upgrade that and continue to improve myself in any forms and ways. And if this video ever becomes very popular, I'm very open to doing in the languages that I can. The most proficient language that I am is Portuguese from Brazil. So I'm open to doing some videos like this in the future in a different language as well. Or I can help putting subtitles for it if that's easier. Anyways, I hope everyone has a good day and enjoy their meals and don't feel so guilty about them. I feel like if you put the effort, I mean, you should get responses. And if you don't, make little tweaks and change it up and try to make it right, you know, experimenting. And I hope you're feeling very confident. And I hope I have a better day after an emotional roller coaster this morning. And I hope you guys are safe in this time and enjoy your day. Bye.